Hi guys, it's Katie and welcome back to my channel. I got a friend today because he won't leave me alone. This is Charlie. He's just gonna chill with us today because he won't stop climbing on me. But I don't know if you guys can hear, my air conditioner's on. It's really hot outside, so it has to be on or I'll die. But from the title of this video, it will be a review of Lovely War by Julie Berry. So if you guys like these type of videos, make sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing down below. Consider subscribing down below, and all my social media is down there as well. But without further ado, oh, and I will have spoilers in this video, but it'll be the second part of the video, so first part you should be fine. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the review. Okay, so for the month of July, I'm doing the reading rush, but I wasn't doing it for the 7 days in a row because I don't have enough time to read 7 books in 7 days. So I decided just to split it up and just do 7 books all in the month of July. So I read Lovely War by Julie Berry for my first book, and this is the book based on, my cat just wants to sit here and stare at me. It's not weird at all. This one was a book based on another continent other than the one you live on, and this is based over in Europe. So that was a check mark for that category in the reading rush. So to tell you a little bit about Lovely War, it is a historical romance, young adult, historical fiction romance. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. Now, I didn't think I would give this book 5 out of 5 stars because, one, it was the first historical fiction I'd ever read, and I didn't think I would like it, but I really did. And I cried when I read this book. I didn't just cry, I ugly cried. This is such a good book. Like, I cannot recommend this book enough. This is such a good book. So the premise of this story is that Aphrodite, the Greek goddess Aphrodite, is having an affair with her husband, on her husband, not with her husband, that wouldn't make sense, on her husband with another Greek god. Her husband is Hephaestus, I don't know how you say his name, but it's that one, and she's having an affair with Ares, who is the god of war, and she is the god of love, and he catches them in the act, and he wants to put her on trial. But so to defend herself, she's like, I need to tell you a story. So that is kind of how you get introduced into the characters of this story. Each chapter is narrated by a different Greek god. So there's Ares, who's the god of war. You have Apollo, who I don't know if he's the god of music, but it would make sense if he was, because he tends to narrate the stuff that has to do with music in the book. And then Aphrodite and Hades, who is the god of death, apparently. You know Hades. But so they go through and they narrate the story of these two couples. One is Hazel and James, and then the other two are Aubrey and Colette. I think that's how you say your name. I would assume that's how you say your name. And Hazel meets James right before he is supposed to be sent off to the First World War. And they meet, and this story it's instant love. And I'm not a fan of instant love. I don't like instant love. I don't think it's necessary, because in real life I don't believe in instant love, so I don't like reading about it. However, in this setting, it works. I don't think you could have had like a slow burn kind of love thing, because he leaves really fast, so you kind of just have to have that instant love. So for this it works. For this I'm fine with it. In other books, not so much. I don't like it. I don't like it in movies either, so. But, they meet, she plays piano, she's playing the piano at this party, where he sees her, and then like, he asks her to dance, and then they fall in love, you know, and then they hang out for like, I think it's 2 days, and then he's sent off to training camp, and it goes between them, like, kind of corresponding, and then, there's also another story woven in with, another soldier named Aubrey, and he is in the New York, he's stationed in New York because he's American, but he plays in the band, and he is African American, and he's a really great musician. However, just for like a trigger warning, there is some, you know, racial instances in here, because this is based in 1918, which were really hard for me to read, because I think it's disgusting, so that was hard for me to read, but it made me aware, and we need to be aware, so there, just so you guys know, there's that in this book. But he's a really great musician, and he falls in love with Colette, who is a volunteer at the YMCA in Europe with Hazel. So they all kind of become friends. Well, at least Hazel, Aubrey, and Colette become friends. And the story just kind of goes from there. I can't say anything else without spoiling it. But that's the premise of it, and then, you know, it ends and everything like that. But yeah, I loved the story. I thought it was a great story. I loved the idea of the Greek gods and goddesses narrating the love story. I love to see how the god of war and the god of love kind of go hand in hand. It was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. It was 5 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend it. If you haven't read it, you should. And if you have read it, let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of it. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. But moving on from the non-spoiler part of the story to the spoilers. So if you have not read this book, please stop now and exit, because I will now talk about all the spoilers from the book. Like I said, I ugly cried. And I only ugly cried in one scene. However, I found scenes where I could have cried, I guess, but I didn't. I thought the scene where Aubrey's friend Joey dies because they thought it was him, I thought it was so sad. I thought that was so sad, and it was just like, all of a sudden he's gotta leave, so he doesn't say goodbye to Colette, and Colette thinks he's dead for a big part of the book. But the part that really, really got me, the part that made me ugly cry, was the part where James got out of the army, and Colette and Hazel were coming to see him on the train, and then the freaking train just explodes, and then she dies, and then Hazel dies. Oh my, I wasn't prepared. Like, I knew something sad had to come because everything was too good in the book. Everything was too good. I'm like, it's getting wrapped up way too in a nice little bow yet. No. I knew something was coming. And then she shields the explosion from Colette by going on top of her. I was like, she just sacrificed your life for her. I'm crying. I'm ugly crying. I can't read because I'm crying. Ugh. And then she finally gets to perform in that Robert Hall on the piano, but there's no one there. And then she looks up and she sees her family, but she can't see them because she's dead. Oh, my heart. It hurts. Oh, so good. And then when Aphrodite came and was like pleading with Hades, she's like, please just give her back to me. Please give her back. And it was so good. It was so good. And then by the end of the story, you know, every couple got with who they needed to get with, and they had kids, and then at the end, Aphrodite's like, please watch out because their sons are in the war now. Because they're in the Second World War, as she is, she's narrating the story, and she's like, please, Hades, will you look out for the two sons of the couples? I'm just like, oh, it never ends. The world never ends. It's like a vicious cycle. It just keeps going. Ugh. I love this book. I love this book. That's all I can say. Really, that's all oh, and the part where James goes to Frank Mason's wife and tries to explain what happened, and she's pregnant, and then they already have a son, and he's sitting there, and it's just, then you find out he's in the war too also. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm done. Okay. I cannot speak enough about this book. It was so good. But I hope you guys liked this review. It was kind of all over the place. I'm not sure how I'm doing reviews yet. I'm just kind of going off the seat of my pants with this. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're still around. But if you've read this, let me know down in the comments what you thought of it. If you've gotten this far, then you've already read it. So let me know what you thought of the story. I would really like to hear your thoughts because I love this story so much. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys. Such a good story. Why is that folded? Why is that folded? I hate my pages get folded.